Hey, welcome back. Let's get into this discussion on Bel-Air, season 4, the final season, episode 2. All right. So, this one had a lot going on. I am looking forward to, I think they have the whole entire season already on Peacock now. Because when I looked last night, I saw that it said 8 seasons. I'm not 8 seasons, 8 episodes. So, I'm like, okay, I got to catch up. Luckily it's not like a super popular show, so I haven't run across any spoilers unless I actually type in Bel-Air, right? So this episode is based around homecoming. Now something that stood out to me, and it's something that I noticed that they try to do where they abbreviate, they shorten up words. Like they were saying HOCO, which is short for homecoming. And I noticed like in like cities where they do a lot of gentrifying, they'll take a name and they'll like, okay, well, this is called Sobro, or this is called, I just noticed that. It's kind of annoying. Like, it's homecoming. Just say homecoming. So one of the guest appearances that I saw on here very early on in the episode was that chick Angel. Now, if you are familiar with Kev on Stage, I guess I'll call him an internet comedian. He did get popular from being on the internet, but it's just how things are nowadays. Like, with the entertainment circle. So that chick Angel is a fellow comedian. She tours with him sometimes. They do skits together and everything like that. So it was cool to see her on, to have this acting gig on, a network show. So that was cool. She played the janitor, maintenance lady in the school. So we saw last episode, the first episode of this season, that Amira she's out of rehab, and she has enrolled herself in this school. But Carlton, like, they didn't have any kind of communication while she was in rehab. So he's talking to this other girl now, and he finally told her, like, well, I kind of want to just, basically in a nutshell, he's like, he wants to leave his drug abuse behind, because I think they kind of bonded through their shared drug abuse. He was on cocaine and she was on something. So he's kind of really wanting to just like ditch that part of him. It's senior year. Let's move on. I wrote notes down. I'm not going to necessarily go in particular order that the episode is going. So she's just like, okay, whatever. And I'm glad she didn't beg him to be like, please love me, whatever. So she gets the attention from this other guy in school. And I see off the rip that Carlton's a little jealous, right? So this guy asks her to homecoming. And I'm going to get back to that because I do want to keep a few things in order. So, of course, we know Will and Carlton have a brand called Black Sis, right? So they're in school. They hear this commotion, and these group of white boys come in with a shirt that says white sis, white access, white success. So it's white sis, whatever. And so I think his name is Connor. They were like, Connor, take that off, man, blah, blah, blah. So one of the other guys was like, well, you guys can be proud to be black. Why can't we be proud to be white? Now, this is something that has come up before, and people don't seem to understand when you are a part of a minority, and y'all know I don't care for that word, but I use it so you can know who I'm talking about. When you're part of a minority and you have been part of a group that's been oppressed, and there has been legal ways to keep you from getting access to certain opportunities, you get what I'm saying? I don't feel like you can compare yourself. Like, if you're a part of the majority and you do not have to deal with that kind of stuff like redlining and these type of discrimination practices, you can't put yourself in a, like, when somebody says black power, that's not coming from a supremacist area. That's coming more for a pride, like, I'm proud to be black, blah, blah, blah. When you hear somebody says white power, that's coming from, you get what I'm saying? Even if you as a white person are like, look, I'm proud to be white pride, but it's like you have to learn how to read the room. And so I am glad that they put that in this episode, because you see that a lot online. They're like, well, why can't we have oh, White History Month. And it's like, y'all just call that history. You get what I'm saying? It's like you're the default. So you can't put yourself in the same position as a Black American or somebody that's Hispanic or something. You get what I'm saying? So I'm glad that they did touch on that in this episode. But because of that, something else I'm glad they touched on too. Whoever wrote this episode, hats off to you. So they got into a little scruffle in the hallway because of that, right? So later on, they get this alert in the news, the school news, saying that instead of having these different groups like the Black Student Union, I'm just throwing names out there, you know, the Hispanic Latin Club, whatever, we're going to put all these groups together and it's all about inclusivity. That's one of the problems with this whole diversity inclusivity thing is it's good in theory, but then it's like you see how they say, well, we're all the same. So we're just gonna put all y'all in the same group. You know, it's kind of tricky. It's very tricky. It's one of those things where I guess it could be a slippery slope. So, but anyway, because of that, Will's like, you know what? I don't feel like even fighting. Let's just have our own homecoming, which I thought that was a brilliant idea. So they're like, you know, he has the resources, got a rich uncle, okay? So they ended up having their own homecoming at this place, this little spot, and it was hosted by him and Carlton, Black Sis, and everything. So I thought that was cool. So now at the homecoming, different things going on with different characters, right? So Amira is in the dance group, right? So Carlton's so busy watching her, you know, his date's noticing, and his date finally was just like, look, if you wanted to come here with her, you should just came here with her. And it's like, I'm watching this, I'm like, you know, you can't have it both ways, Carlton. It's like, on one hand, you were acting like she was getting on your nerves because she was always talking about rehab and you didn't want that to define you and all this stuff. Now she getting some play from another guy and she looking all cute in her little, you know, jumpsuit, whatever, romper, dancing. She's the lead of the pack. And it's like, do you want to be with her or not? You can't have it both ways. And even when he tried to like talk to her about it, she basically was like, look, I mean, she kind of blew him off, and I'm glad she did. Like, we're not begging people to talk to us after they done blew us off, and then you see him over here looking all cute. Now you want to be in my face again, though. So earlier on in the episode, they were kind of getting on Lisa. You know, I don't really care for Lisa's character. I'm pretty sure I've said that before. Her and Will do not have chemistry to me. Will had more chemistry with that other girl from last season, the one whose dad was a basketball coach who was coaching Will. To me, they had way more chemistry than this Lisa character. But anyway, they're calling her goody two-shoes. And so in order to shed her good girl image, she decides to join the dance team. And so while they're at the homecoming, she gets Will into this, I don't know, I'm going to call it janitor's closet. That's not what it was, but it was, you know, somewhere off. Basically, I guess you would call it like spontaneous sex she was trying to have with him, trying to prove that she can, you know, be this bad girl, whatever. I mean, I guess I get it. When I go back to my teenage mind, you do want to fit in. You do. Some people try harder than others, but when you're a teenager, you do not want to get looked at as like being uncool. Or now as you get older, you kind of get this I don't give a F attitude. Like, that's where I'm at with mine. I'm not trying to be cool to anybody but my damn self. But I had to look at it back like, yeah, when you're a child, when you're 16, 17, that is important. You're literally spending 8 hours a day with these people. So it's a big chunk of your time. So she's trying to prove all that to him, and in the midst of them, well, they almost getting into it sexually. They were announced to be the homecoming king and queen, so they came out all disheveled and stuff. It was kind of funny. Like, Lisa, girl, So, Ashley is a freshman now at the school. And, she was with that girl, Olivia, but they broke up. I forgot why they broke up. Not Fresh Prince, but Bel-Air was off for a little bit. So she's mad. Olivia is jealous of her because she's talking to this guy that she's with now. So they get into a fight at the school. It's like, okay, girl. Then Ashley comes to the homecoming with her boyfriend. She snuck some wine out the cellar, and Will was like, what's up with you? First you fighting in school. You're bringing alcohol. You're 14. What are you doing? And she's like, well, I don't want to be, paraphrasing here, and, Carlton's shadow or Hillary's shadow, because Hillary, she's this influencer who cooks. She was married briefly to a famous football player. So it's like Ashley's trying to form her own identity. And it's kind of sad that as a young person, the way you feel to do that is to be bad. And I think that's just a tale as old as time. I don't think there's anything new. It's like, well, I want to show myself. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do, fight. Not that she started the fight. I mean, Olivia was asking for it, calling her bitches and like, girl, go on about your life. But I'm glad that Will was like, just chill. You ain't got to do all that, She has good role models, like looking up to Will, and Carlton's doing better now that he's not on that cocaine. Something that I thought was cute was Ashley's boyfriend came into the school with not a band. Is it a banjo? Not a banjo, but it's a ukulele. And if you're a fan of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you'll recognize the song that he was singing was a song that Ashley was singing, like the last season. It was either the last season of Fresh Prince or the 5th season. But Ashley started singing. There's a song called boy, I want you. Stop wasting my time. So he was like singing that on the ukulele, and I like that. I think they call them Easter eggs when you find something in the show, and like a little clue of something else. I thought that was cute. I do like how they incorporate parts of the original show into this one. Because when I was listening to it, I was like, that sounds familiar, and then I was just he continued singing. I'm like, oh yeah, Ashley sung that in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I thought that was cute. Like I said, big ups to whoever wrote this, man. I gotta look on the credits again. So Jeffrey is back working, but he's still a part of them goons, and they want him to be able to launder money through Uncle Phil's construction deal. And Uncle Phil told him, look, I'm not doing that, right? He's a judge. No, he's a lawyer still, right? I don't think he's a judge yet. So of course it's like, I can't do that, right? And Jeffrey was like, it doesn't work like that, brother. And Uncle Phil kind of got a little testy. He was like, this is my house, last time I checked. Well, fast forward, him, Jeffrey, and Aunt Viv come home. The door's half open. The house is ransacked. Stuff is turned over, broken. And Jeffrey was like, look, this is how they roll. So, I mean, what you want to do? They have come to your house, your residence. So Uncle Phil, his hand was forced. So him and Jeffrey went to this lady with a bad wig, or 27-piece, whatever it was, to set up this deal, And so right after she accepts the deal, she's like, you hired security for your nephew's little homecoming. Well, I should need protection from them because they did this, that, and the third. And Uncle Phil's like, what are you talking about? She calls the cops on Will and Carlton for busting up that Jeep last episode. So that's where we end this episode as the police come into the homecoming after everybody's left. Will and Carlton are cleaning up and they're there to arrest him. So we'll see what happens after that. But she was low down and dirty for that. Like, you gonna sit there, force Uncle Phil to get involved in this illegal stuff and then turn around and get his son and nephew arrested? Like, he's already having to break the law to keep his family safe. You could have just called it even, been like, okay, your son's busted up my homie's car, but so for that, I'm gonna make you launder this money through. I just felt like that was wrong, and I hope something bad happens to her. But anyway, it's getting good. Like I said, I haven't been this excited about a show since Empire. It's like an event. The only thing is, all the episodes are there at once, so it's like you binge watch it and then it's over. I think part of the fun from back in the day was anticipating a new episode, that comes on at a certain time, and you can't, what I'm saying, fast forward it, rewind. It's just that, it was more of an event, but it's 2025, so I guess I got to get with the times. Yo, shout out to my 180 subscribers. Shout out to the rest of you as well who are not subscribed, but you can by hitting that button for me. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think about this. Please, again, no spoilers in the comments, because I'm about to watch episode 3, okay? I have 5 more to go until I'm done with this season, all right? Peace and blessings to every last one of you watching. Until next time.